but you also chose this lane to be in. So if that's what comes with it, then suck that shit up and do the job. We live. Well, not live, but we back. So yeah, usually I try to use like the first minute or two of the video to kind of update y'all on where I'm at, give y'all whatever gems or anything that's hit me that I feel like I can give y'all. So my theme so far has kind of kept coming back to goals. Really, again, with the goals, writing stuff down, man, is crazy because like I said in the last video, one of my goals I wrote down was to be on top of my YouTube, stay on top of my content, trying to grow the channel as much as possible. And the more content that I'm able to put out, I'm able to engage with y'all. I'm really starting to get a lot of the feedback from you guys, which is dope. I think I've grown the channel like 1,000 subscribers in the past 30 days. One of my other goals that I had was that I was trying to push one of my businesses to gross 15K a month. And mind you, this is coming out of 2023, which wasn't a pretty year, you know what I'm saying? I told you all about that, but we're right up against that number. So write your goals down, man. Again, I'm telling this to y'all because I'm not really that type of person that writes my goals down. I sit and dwell on my thoughts and I know the things that I want to do, but I don't really write everything down. Some things might make it into a note section on my phone, but I don't write them down. But off of my goals that I wrote down in 2023 for 2024, I'm almost able to strike off 2. I'm like 1 3/4. Even if I was not able to hit that 15, I fall shy of hitting 12, 13, shit, it's still a win to me. I'm just being transparent with y'all, keeping it real. These are things that y'all can do, you know, that's why I'm telling y'all. I don't tell you anything with any type of flex, keeping it real with the types of gigs that I book to show you. And I'm also telling you the goals, the monetary goals, the financial goals that I'm setting for myself and how close I'm getting to them. So you can set some for yourself. It don't have to be 15. If 5K is more realistic, shit, if 1K is realistic for you, set that 1K goal and smash that. Even if you roll up on it 800 or something like that, like pat yourself on the back for doing that. We're creatives. You're using your talents, you're using your gifts to sustain yourself, to provide for yourself. If you have a family like me, maybe you're providing for your family. If you're able to do that, fire. And if I'm able to help y'all do any of that, like even better, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of my channel, is I really want to bridge the gap between just being a creative and being a business owner. We really got to flip that switch. It's really a mindset thing. And this isn't a shameless plug for y'all that have purchased my ebook. Literally the first thing in the book is speaking on the mindset of where you need to be in order for you to even be successful. And I feel like it's successful. I don't mean successful in the amount of money that you're making. I just mean successful as in being able to do the things that you want to do and on your terms. That's, you know, to me, that success is being able to live on your terms. I live on my terms. I make my schedule. I do what I want to do. I wake up. If I don't want to do shit, then I don't do shit. I mean, there's consequences, repercussions for all those decisions made, but nonetheless, I'm on my own terms. So if I can help anybody close that gap that hasn't, or you're looking to, maybe you're new to doing it, that's, you know, that's the whole point of the channel. But anyways, let's get into the video. This is kind of part 2 to the last video. I was speaking about working with professionals and how you really need a foundation to grow your business, and your work isn't going to come from just fancy shoots and the overly cool creative stuff all the time. So in this video, we're actually diving into one of those shoots and the creative process that went into it. So first things first, if you're working with a business or a self-branded individual, anything of that nature, an influencer, check to see if they have any type of branding, because you're gonna want to create within the means of what they have going on, right? You don't wanna just be left field with everything that you're doing for them. and it doesn't line up with the aesthetics. It's not cohesive with everything else that they have going on. You're not just taking pictures or doing video for this person. You want to make yourself somebody that can see the blind spots for a business. You want to see the things that they don't. This is how you add value. If you can increase somebody else's business, they're gonna increase your business, right? If you go in there trying to do the bare minimum, you can give them that, you can deliver that, and that's cool. It might be a one and done, but if you can go in there and you exceed what they're asking of you, now you can lock them in for longer terms. Now we're talking about longevity, and you want to build lasting relationships, especially when you're working with businesses or professional individuals that are building a brand. If you carve that lane for them, you're the one that gets to sit in it, you know? So make sure that the content that you're putting together is on brand with what they're doing. Now, if they don't have that yet, this is a great position for you to step in and assist them with that. Take your business a step further than just taking pictures or doing video, you know? Step it up just a notch, and you can kind of dip your foot into the branding. Think expansively with what you're capable of doing. The camera is just a tool at this point, right? So everything that I'm saying, you're able to create with your camera, with your skills, with your editing skills, with things that you're doing in Photoshop. So make sure that the branding is on point when you're shooting with them. If they got it, stay in line with it. If they don't have it, help them establish it. If you want to charge an additional fee for that, you can. But I kind of like to live in this space of under promise and over deliver, right? So you give them this and then show them that you're adding value. You're giving them something without them even asking you for it. This is gonna build the rapport between you and your client. This is gonna make them keep you around. This is what you want. You're not just taking photos at this point. I'm giving you game on how to elevate your business. You also need to know what it is that you're shooting for. Whether that be social media, websites, email marketing campaigns, advertising materials, billboards, flyers, whatever it may be. This just helps with simple composition. You could be thinking, oh, I'll just shoot here. The background doesn't matter. If they're gonna use it for a billboard or a flyer, the graphic designer can just take it off. But maybe they don't have a graphic designer, right? So you're trying to make their job as easy as possible on them. And then on your end, you wanna make sure that you're just not leaving any boxes unchecked. Maybe the person that you're dealing with has a tight budget and they can only afford for you to shoot, and they're gonna do the graphic stuff themselves. Make their job easier, right? So if you're shooting something and it's a banner for a website, give them a couple different compositions. Frame them on the right side, frame them on the left side, leave space for copy, for ad copy. Keep little things like that in mind. It's just the small things, right? So ask them these questions. What are you using these images for? What are they for? That's so you know how to shoot, so you know how to frame them, so you know how to purpose these images. So with these shoots, when you're shooting professional style content, it might be a little corporate. That doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Make sure that you're including your style into the shoot. They don't have to be boring images, even if it's just headshots. Play with lighting, play with posing. In this shoot here, we got some standard images. We got the basics for the avatars, for the LinkedIn profiles, for the business cards, for things like that. But we also did some stuff that I like to do, and I played around with the lighting a little bit. I went between continuous lighting and I went between using strobes. But just make sure that you're including what you do, what you bring to the table. I've done shoots in the past where somebody hit me, and I'm not gonna lie, I just showed up to get the bag. Like, I showed up and I did exactly what they asked of me to do, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's what they're looking for. But again, with making lasting impressions on the client, it's always better to just go a little above of what your bare minimum is. If you can further exceed it, then do so by any means. I've heard plenty of stories from photographers, videographers on how they deal with certain clients, and there's always like this little chip on your shoulder, like, oh, I'm doing this and it's my craft and you gotta pay me to do this. And it's like, yeah, get paid, but a lot of people run themselves into dead ends trying to be that person. instead of being more understanding and a little bit more flexible with the client. And for me, what I've realized is in those situations, like, you're still running a business, right? You still have to have a level of customer service. You can't just be a dickhead to whoever. But when you're more flexible and understanding with your clients and actually take some time to listen to what they're doing and explain things to them, don't make everything sound like it's a difficult situation for you to do and I'm gonna have to do this and well, then we'll have to do that. They're more than likely going to book you again and again and again. You know, you're able to build with that client. So keep that in mind. Don't try to be like, oh, this is my craft and I spent thousands. Like, yeah, we know you spent thousands of dollars on your camera, hundreds of dollars on whatever you did, but you also chose this lane to be in. So if that's what comes with it, then suck that shit up and do the job. And if there's any speed bumps in the process of you doing what you have to do, then explain that, but don't be an asshole about it, right? So moving on. So we booked the studio to capture all the standard content. Like I said, all of the stuff for his LinkedIn profile, basic images on his website, infographics, email marketing campaign, stuff like that. The standard, like a little bit more on the corporate side of things. We did the majority of that in the studio. We did some lifestyle stuff in there too, but we used like the basic background stuff that was gonna be easy for me to manipulate on the other end. One thing I didn't mention was this was a full content shoot. I have 3 content creation packages that I have structured, and this particular client is going with my premium package, my very top package. So in that, we provide basically full DFY, done for you services. So there's a lot more that goes into it. So we're doing photo and video. So we use the studio space, we max that out. Mind you, this client flew in from El Paso, Texas. He's a lawyer out in El Paso, Texas. I was referred to him and we locked in. He wanted to go with the top package. He basically wanted to overhaul his entire branding. So that's what we're doing. We're on a 90-day retainer and this was shoot 1. So we really needed to ramp up the amount of content that we were doing so that we could lay into his marketing and really have a nice rollout and be able to manage things consistently. We ran through a few looks in studio and we set aside some looks to do lifestyle stuff outside. This was day 2 of the shoot. Day 1, we handled all the video content. We shot short form content, long form YouTube content. We did 2 hours in studio, knocked that down. And then we went on location. We had 3 locations that we used to capture the more lifestyle side stuff. So with that, we really wanted to capture his casual side. We still wanted to keep the business kind of incorporated in there, but we were definitely leaning more towards casual and his personality. So with doing things like that, you can loosen up your posing a little bit. We're adjusting small details here, right? Things like unbuttoning the top 2 buttons of the shirt just to loosen up and let it breathe a little bit. Adding sunglasses in. The attire was still business, but we kind of leaned it like business casual. He's still that type of guy. So it was still within his wheelhouse, but it was just a lighter look. He had a couple rollies and things that he wanted to use and infuse in there. So we kind of swapped those things out and did that at location. We added some action shots with him walking, him coming downstairs, just moved around a little bit and played. And that kind of allowed me to still incorporate my style into the images. You know, like I like playing with leading lines. I love composition. I love playing with depth and using a lot of different things and colors, tones, textures, all of that you can't get at a studio. So like I said, day 1, we did video. Day 2 was photo heavy. And then we also did some short form content here as well. Again, he booked my premium package. So with that, there's a lot of deliverables that come with it. So we wanted to make sure that we dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. So we did more short form on day 2. And again, I spoke on this in another video. You guys should be definitely incorporating video if you do photo or photo if you do video. You should be able to do both. Now, whether you not want to do the editing, you can always outsource that, and I can touch on that in another video. I do the majority of my editing, but for volume purposes, if it comes to a point where I can't handle it, please believe I have backup. When I gotta push the red button, like I need to be able to send that somewhere. And you guys should be thinking like that too. If you're not there yet, that's cool, but I'll give you that gem now, put it in your bag, pull it out when you need it. But you should be able to do both. This is gonna allow you to increase your ticket. I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to do anything different than what you're already doing. But just by adding video, you could damn near double the ticket in the same window of time that you're using to shoot everything else. To me, it's a no-brainer, right? So that's why in that top package, I offer both, and we have a boatload of deliverables that come with it. So the client's getting a lot of photo and they're getting a lot of video. And here's another gem. This is the easiest way for you to break down your content. Just shoot long form content. So have your client produce longer scripts, take those long scripts, film them, and break them into shorter videos, and you can deliver those. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna break that down for y'all in another video. I have like endless amounts of videos that I can deliver to y'all. I really could just sit on one and talk all day, but I know if the time on the video says 1, 2, 3 hours, nobody's gonna click on that. So we gotta break it down into digestible formats for y'all to get. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to drag it out. I'm gonna help you guys weed through and give you guys a couple little hacks on how you can kind of finesse certain things to, you know, grow your business and grow somebody else's business at the same time and really lock in. You know, like I said, you really wanna build those relationships with those clients. Don't just think of your clients as a quick paycheck, you know, see where you can really add value. Again, it probably comes down to what's your why are you doing what you do? For me, I love helping people build their businesses, like in all aspects. So wherever I can help, that's what I like to do. When I'm on set, I tell a lot of my clients, I do more than just deal with this camera. So if I can help you in any other way, let me know. You know, it's kind of cringe to say, but maybe that's the entrepreneur in me. I don't even like to really label myself as entrepreneur. I really just like to add value where I can and help people build. I've done it from my music video side into business side into fitness, where all the areas that I've worked in, I literally like to get side by side with my client and see how I can maximize their situation. Because in turn, it's gonna maximize my situation inadvertently, well, advertently. Anyways, with your planning process, make sure that you have a vision board, something to go off of. You wanna know what you're doing beforehand, have those conversations with the client, especially if it's something like this. If you have a client that's flying you out to them or they're flying to work with you, you definitely wanna make sure that you're checking all the boxes before they get there. You're not trying to wing nothing because time is of the essence when they're there. Make sure that you plan out the shoot, regardless if there's any travel in between. But if there's travel, definitely you want to iron out as much as you can. But storyboard your shoot, have a shot list, know what you want them to say. If it's scripts, whatever, if it's just photos, know what you want to do beforehand. Don't just jump out there and think that you're the expert and that you're gonna be able to think of it on the fly, because there's a lot of things that pop up on shoots. We all know that. I don't know how many of y'all have shoots that just go perfect and they go as planned every time. But I know my ratio is off, and my shoots, I get curveballs left and right. You know, I feel like Floyd Mayweather and they're playing defense with how shit be going off the rails. So just make sure you guys have a plan when you're setting up a shoot, especially when you're working with businesses, professional individuals. They like to see that shit. They like to see that you're on top of your game too. They're gonna look at you in a different light. Take that as you will. That's all that we have for this one. I touch on a lot of that stuff in my ebook. I'm not really gonna overplug it for y'all. If you guys like how I'm talking and like the things that I'm talking about, definitely feel free to go grab it. I actually think I'm gonna put a discount on there for you guys if you wanna go get it. Again, I don't wanna be overly salesy. If you like what I'm saying, there's more of it in that book where it goes a little bit more in depth. And again, if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to hit me. Yeah, like wherever I can help y'all, really drop it in the comments. Like I love having those conversations with y'all down there. I see that y'all be sharing the video too, which is super fire. I wish they would show who shared it so I could say something. Shit, if you share it, drop that in the comments too, if you want or whatever. But it's definitely appreciated. You guys are helping me grow this channel exponentially. I guess my next benchmark would be having 10K subs. 1K was my initial goal. We smashed right through that. In the last few videos, we're just over 2, which is, I mean, I guess in comparison to these other YouTubers, they got crazy channels, but I appreciate my 2K subscribers. I fuck with y'all. Everybody that's pushed that button to this point, I really appreciate you guys. Cause like I said, it's been a goal of mine to grow my channel, and we're really starting to get some traction where things are starting to roll. So yeah, if you could hit that like button, that helps me out. The notifications, so you do know when I do drop, so y'all can peep, and whatever gems I got to give y'all can get them. I think that's it, man. Subscribe if y'all haven't already. If you made it to the end, if you made it to this point right now and you haven't subscribed, you should probably subscribe. I would subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe from one of my other channels. That's what I'm gonna do.